Alright, so these are my thoughts on a few rising stars in the league that you may or may not already be familiar with. Saben Lee, McClung, Leandro Bolmaro, and Liangelo Ball. That's 4 guys right there. They're all first or second year players. Leandro played 1 year overseas for technically his rookie season. So he's in his second season, but by NBA standards, he's kind of like a rookie. He might still be considered a rookie by NBA standards, even though he played 1 year overseas. But then you got Liangelo Ball in the same situation. So you have Leandro and Liangelo. Both played 1 year overseas, and now they're in their official rookie seasons with the NBA. And you got Saben Lee. This is his second year. We drafted him last season on the Pistons, Detroit Pistons. But he's playing in our G League affiliate, the Motor City Cruise, right now. And then you have McClung. He's the only actual true rookie in the team. Well, in this group. He's coming out of Texas Tech, I believe, where he played solidly. You know, he wasn't amazing, but he wasn't bad at all. He showed good promise. So what he accomplished in high school, breaking records by Iverson, I mean, it wasn't all just a fluke because he's in high school. He moved up to the next level and showed that he was still a quality player. Then he moved up to Summer League, and he struggled a bit. But we're going to talk about that. Now we're going to start off with Saben Lee, because he plays for my hometown team, Detroit. So I've been watching him. I've actually gone to the Motor City Cruise game. I went to their season opener. And I've been watching him. And he can score. In G League level, he is a prolific scorer. He can even move the ball. You know, he can get his guys set up for good, shots. He's averaging about 8 to 9 assists per game. If his teammates were making even more shots, I mean, he'd probably be having around 14 to 15 assists per game. So he's an all-around playmaker. Whether he's taking the shot himself or he's setting his teammates up for success. Defensively, he's a work in progress. He's playing good defense. Don't get me wrong. He's playing good defense in the G League. But when it comes to him moving up to the NBA, now you have a problem there. Because it's just a different level there. You have NBA is up here, right? NBA. You have Summer League, which is right below NBA. Then you have G League and everybody below that, right? G League is still high-level competition. I say Summer League is above G League just because Summer League it's going to have people who are already on the actual NBA roster. It's going to have multiple people from the actual NBA roster, like young players. And it's going to have those fringe players who are trying to make the roster. So everybody's trying really hard at this point. And those that don't make the actual roster, those are the ones who are going to trickle down to the G League. See what I'm saying? They're going to trickle down to the G League. So G League is third down. You have NBA, Summer League, and then G League. Now, Summer League, he showed out for us. NBA, he struggled a bit. G League, he is killing it. But he's still early in his career. He's 22 years old, but he's got a high ceiling. He needs to, one, play his true position, which is point guard. Just play point guard. And even as he currently is right now, he's already good enough to be a solid, quality backup for any team in the league. He's already good enough for that. He's only in the G League right now because of team management in Detroit. Anybody that's been paying attention knows there's a guy named Corey Joseph, who's been eating up minutes that he, it's debatable as to whether or not he should be playing as much as he is. Take Kojo out of the equation, and Saben Lee's getting a lot more playing time in the actual NBA. But in the G League, he's leading the league in points, by far. He's amongst the league leaders in assists per game. And his defensive rating, I have notes taken down for this. His defensive rating is 114.1, which, comparatively speaking, 114.1 is actually good. Because in actual NBA, let's see, Bogdanovich, he plays for Atlanta. His defensive rating is 117.3, which is not far from what Saben Lee's defensive rating is in G League. That's one of the best defensive ratings you could have. That's amongst the upper echelon in regards to defensive ratings. Let's see, I might be saying his name wrong. O'Shea Brissett. Excuse me, O'Shea Brissett. His defensive rating is 122.6 right now in the actual NBA. That's one of the highest defensive ratings you can have. So Saben Lee being 114.1 is solid defense. That's solid defense. Now again, he's in the G League with that defensive rating. Does that translate to NBA? It could. I can see it dropping a bit. He probably dropped from that 114.1 to 108, which is nothing to scoff at. For a player as young as he is, who's 6'2", playing in a height-dominated game. I mean, guards are easily 6'5", 6'6" nowadays. But he's already a quality NBA backup. He's just on the wrong team right now for his career. But that's Saben Lee. Saben Lee's going to have a long career ahead of him. Keep an eye on him. I'm going to put a link down below for each of these players, actually, so you can watch highlights of each of them so you can see for yourself what I'm talking about and make your own assessments. Next player up is another point guard, Mclung. I was just talking about him a little bit when I was talking about Saben Lee. He's very much in the same boat as Lee, only he's actually a true rookie. This is his first season point blank. McClung has very strong athleticism. That's one of the strong points that Saben Lee had. They both have strong athleticism for guys that are only 6'2", because they can both dunk. You know what I mean? They don't struggle getting up there. I mean, they get up there. They got elite level vertical. McClung has elite level vertical. He has very solid ball handling skills. You'll see in the highlights how he makes defenders miss him. And he's only going to get better with this over time, where he'll be more consistent with these skills. Instead of, okay, here and there he's making some really nice moves that's really impressing people. He's going to get more consistent over time as he adjusts to playing at this higher level of competition with more people watching him. I mean, he's not on the collegiate level anymore. He's not on the high school level anymore. Like, these are NBA level crowds we're talking about. And we're talking about Los Angeles. He's playing for LA's G League team, which is also called the Lakers. But again, you're playing in LA. That brings a whole different kind of shine to your game, where the pressure is really going to be on you. Especially when the team you're associated with has LeBron James on it. Right now they got LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Westbrook, you name them, right? So they sent him down to the G League. He was actually waived from the main team and then picked up by the G League team. But he's still within the organization. McClung has the ability to shoot, but he has to find his comfort level. Because so far in the little bit of a limited G League competition he's had so far, he's shown that he can shoot. Inside, outside, he can shoot. He can drive, he can spin, he can do all of it. He just has to be consistent. And he has to adjust to doing this against higher level competition. But he has a strong, well-developed skill set with elite level athleticism to back it up. The only thing he's really missing is his height. I mean, again, he's 6'2". You got guys like, Killian Hayes. Again, it's my own hometown team of Detroit. Killian Hayes is 6'5". You got Cade Cunningham, who, what is he listed at? 6'6"? 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". I don't know. I feel like every time I look him up, every time I pay attention to him, they change his height. I remember at one point in time when he's going through the recruitment process, because he's a NBA draft prospect, they said he was 6'8" at the time. Why they keep changing his height, I don't know. But either way, he's above 6'5". He's up there. Like, I almost saw him to be a small forward type up there. But he's a guard. And this has become the new norm. So being 6'2", McClung is in the same boat that Saben Lee is in as somewhat shorter guys. 6'2" is my height. So to say shorter kind of it's a little disappointing, but by NBA standards, I mean, these guys are not very tall. They're like right at the edge of being NBA height, right? But he has elite level vertical. So he just has to grow into being consistent and comfortable playing against higher level competition. Because that's hands down the biggest drawback for this guy. Let's see, Mclung. His offensive rating is 112.8. His defensive rating is 109.2. Now that defensive rating, again, it's lower than Saben's even. Saben was 114. Mac is 109. And this is in G League that these are their ratings. You move them up to the NBA, or back up to the NBA, I should say, and that's going to drop. He's probably going to drop from 109 to a flat 100 or the upper 90s, which means he's going to give up some points here and there, but it's still quality enough defense that he's not a liability. He's not a liability. Saben Lee on the next level is not a liability. They're just not going to be exactly the most prominent defender on the court for your team. Let's see, offensive rating again, 112.8. To compare this, you have, let's see, Gary Harris. No, Derrick Rose even. Derrick Rose is 114.9 for his offensive rating. Now that's good. That's up there. All right, that's amongst your better ratings. Stephon Curry, 116.1. That's up there. That's amongst one of your best ratings. And McClung is 112.8. Saben Lee was actually 119.5. Again, he's in G League. These guys are in G League. You move them up to the NBA, that 119.5 by Lee is going to drop down to maybe 109. That 112 by McClung is going to drop down to 98, 99, maybe 100. It's going to drop because you're playing against guys who've been doing this for years, 5, 6, 7 years easy, playing elite level defense. But these are backup quality sacks. You let these guys play on somebody's bench, getting about 14 to 15 minutes per night. They're going to grow into the game. They're going to grow into the comfort, and they're going to become better players. And within a year or two, you'll have depth on your team, whatever your team may be that has Saben Lee or McClung on it. But that's enough to talk about those two for now. You have Liangelo Ball. He played for Lithuania for, I believe, just 1 year before, coming into the NBA, where Charlotte Hornets gave him something of a chance, and now he's playing for their G League team, the Greensboro Swarm. And he's been all right. He's been nice at times. He plays solid offense. He's going to give you production on the offense end. His problem is that he's a defensive liability. He can shoot the ball. He can move the ball. You can set his teammates up for success. But defensively, he's not really much to talk about. I mean, G League, he's a 91.4 for his defensive rating. That's already on the lower end, right? Lower but acceptable. You move him up to the NBA, that 91.4 is going to drop down to the low 80s, maybe the high 70s, and that makes him one of the worst defenders in the NBA. So I can understand why they sent him down to the G League. But again, he might be in one of those cases where it's just a element of comfort and adjusting. Because he played lights out in Lithuania. You go and dominate any European league, and you are a legitimate player. Europe is not exactly China. It's not one of your Asian countries. Europe, that's right behind the NBA. You dominate a European league, you have something. So, Liangelo Ball being given a legitimate chance on somebody's team, again, he's not a bench player right now. Someday maybe he'll be going to be a starter, but right now he's a bench player. You let him play long enough to develop comfort and actually adjust to the league, that defense probably gets better. The offense is just going to be his offense. He's an offensive player. But his defense can develop. That 91.4 G League defensive rating is going to drop down. He's going to hurt you every time you put him on the court. Every point he puts up, he's going to give up the same number of points probably. But by his second season actually playing NBA caliber basketball, against NBA caliber defense, maybe he'll have a 91.4 in the NBA, and then a 95.5, and then a 100.6. Just keeps getting better. But he has a bright future ahead of him. And when you look at his brothers, you got, we're talking about Liangelo, right? You got LaMelo, and you got Lonzo. Those two were both given legitimate chances, and look at how they developed. It took Lonzo a little bit longer to develop, but now he is honestly one of the best defenders at his position in the league. You got LaMelo, he's doing what he's doing. He's in Rookie of the Year talks last season when he's actually a rookie. You don't do that without playing solid basketball throughout the season. He's in that same brother group right there. Liangelo was right in that same group. If those two are doing what they're doing, you can imagine that Liangelo is going to be doing something of the sorts given a real opportunity. Given the real opportunity. If he could dominate a European league, and you see what his brothers are doing, what do you think he's going to do if you give him a real chance? Now, he's 6'5", 22 years old. McClung is 22 years old. Saben Lee is 22 years old. By sports standards, that's deemed on the older end for your rookie players, your younger players. Nowadays, you look at soccer and they're picking up guys at the age of 16. You look at the NBA, they're picking up guys at the age of 18, 19. So if you're already 22 coming into the league, yeah, that's going to be a knock against you. But at the end of the day, if we be realistic, that's still really young, and you still have a lot of years of development to work with. So, that shouldn't push him back too much. He's 6'5", 230 pounds. That 230 pounds is the part that I'm concerned about. 230 pounds at only 6'5", that's kind of heavy. I would expect him to be more around 215, 220 for a good basketball weight. So, but that's not a huge knock against him. He just needs to be given a legitimate chance. Same thing from McClung and Saben Lee. There's a recurring theme here going by the way, in case you haven't noticed. Give these guys legitimate chances. Now, I've been watching Leandro Bolmaro as much. But he's another guy. Again, he spent his rookie season overseas playing for, I believe, Barcelona. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it's Barcelona. And now he's with the Timberwolves. He was in G League, but they just called him back up, so that's good. I'm glad they called him up. All these guys deserve a legitimate chance. From what I've seen from them, from what I've heard about them, from what I've learned about them, give them a legitimate chance. So, he's playing for the Timberwolves, which is not exactly the strongest organization, so he should have room to really grow there. And he's a shooting guard, small forward type player. He can play both ways. He is 6'6", 200 pounds exactly. So he's a little on the lighter side. He can stand to put on some more muscle, maybe improve his own athleticism. But 6'6" is a good height. That's a solid height to be at, playing small forward shooting guard. The man can score. He can put up buckets. He's a walking bucket. And he's 21. So he's the youngest guy of the group I'm talking about. The other three are all 22. He's 21. He's actually on the roster for Minnesota because they called him up. So we'll see where that goes. But all four of these guys, whether they stay with their current teams or they move on to some other team, I see all four of them having a very strong, bright future. Now, for the sake of this video not going on, incredibly long, I'm going to end it pretty soon. There's one more thing I want to touch on, though. One, I'm going back to the defensive, also offensive ratings, right? Gary Harris, 118.9. That's one of the better defensive ratings in the league. Derrick Rose, 114.9, is one of the better offensive ratings. So when you're talking about that 112 to 118 for offense, that's a good place to be. 112 to 118. Well, actually, that's a great place to be. What am I saying? 112 to 118. It's the same thing on defense. 112 to 118. Again, Gary Harris is 118.9. He's always been a top-tier defender. It's just his offense is very lacking. Bogdan is 117.3. But anytime you say anywhere between 112 to 118 offensively or defensively, you are top notch in regards to your defensive rating. So to see these guys, again, I'm reading off theirs. Saben Lee, 114 in his defense, 119 in his offense. Mclung is 109 in his offense. His defense, and he's 112 in his offense. Liangelo Ball, 91 in his defense. So admittedly, he's bad right now. Offense is 110. So he's very close to that, like that 112 to 118 range. But even with that, he wasn't given much time to work with. 13.7 minutes per game in the G League. Give this guy a legitimate chance to play longer minutes, and let's see what he can really do. Put him out there for 25 minutes. You're G League. We're not talking about the NBA here. We're not even talking about the much more limited summer league where you only have like a handful of games to work with. We're talking about G League. Give him 25 minutes per game, and let's see what he can really do. I don't have a defensive rating or offensive rating for, Leandro, but if I were to look it up, he'd probably fall somewhere around McClung. He'd probably fall around that range. Again, 109 for defense, 112 for offense, but I didn't look one up for him. In fact, he got called back up to the scene. I gotta look into why he got called back up. It might be kind of like the Luka Garza situation. Kelly Olynyk goes down for long-term injury. Well, not necessarily long-term, but long enough where he's going to be out for significant playing time. Luka gets called up. Regardless of why he got called up, I'm glad it happened. But I'm going to end this video right here. These are just my thoughts on a few rising stars. Players I could see having long careers, whether they have long careers just as potential six men for their team. Or even could actually be starters. Any of these guys can be starters for their teams in the next few years. But right now, they're all good enough to be quality backups. Give your team some depth. Some young, developing depth. That's all I got for you, though.